To my right, boxing out of the blue corner, representing Northeast Division. Weighing in at 155 pounds, wearing blue trunks. Let's hear it for Robert Morales. His opponent to my left, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the green and gold of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, representing Men's Central Jail. Weighing in at 154 pounds, let's hear it for Bobby Harris.
Bob Harris out of the LA Sheriff's Department in the green and white. There's also a look at Marty Mullen, our referee for this fight. Both fighters coming in almost identical. Robert Morales in the blue at 5'8", 155, and Harris at 5'9", 154. And both of them coming out unloading early on. Harris trying to protect himself, takes a good left from Robert Morales.
Well, Harris has the experience of the two, having 5 fights under his belt, coming off his very first win in his last fight. But right now, Morales is the aggressor.
Morales with an overhand left that misses, then he stumbles. Good left, good combination by Morales. Harris needs to keep his gloves up or he's going to continue to take poundings like that. And now Morales tries to hold on, even though he's been the aggressor here in the first round. And what does Harris have to do, Anthony, to not let this fight get away from him early on?
He has to use his experience. You know, he has a good blocking stance, you know, a good defensive stance where he should be able to block some of these punches, but he's not keeping it up once the flurry starts. He opens up.
Oh, good left hand by Harris sends Morales back to the ropes. And clearly the best punch of the fight.
That possibly could have won the round for Harris if he keeps up the pressure and doesn't give the round back to Morales.
Well, we touched on this before. It's the ability of these fighters to take a punch, especially in the amateur ranks, that makes such a big difference for these fighters in trying to win the bout.
We keep reiterating it. They're only 3 rounds, 2-minute rounds. There's not a lot of time to score points. You have to go ahead and go for the power shots to impress those judges early on.
Under 10 seconds in the first round. Morales coming out early, and then Harris landing the big blow. Tough round to score, Anthony. Who do you give it to?
I might have to give that round to Robert Morales because he had the more effective punches, whereas Bobby Harris had the biggest punch. But that one punch may not have won the flurry he took early on in the first round. And then later on, maybe the last 25 seconds, Morales came back and threw some more nice shots. But there's the big shot by Harris, which knocked back Morales. And the judges, they kind of put a lot of weight on those power shots, so it's going to be a tough round to judge.
There's a look at Morales in his corner. Also, Bob Harris. Harris, 5 years with the LA County Sheriff's Department. He's a custody jailer, so obviously used to working with the tough criminals of the world.
Well, Harris pretty yoked up, has a nice set of guns on him, so you know he works out a lot. So fatigue shouldn't play a factor because he has the experience and 5 fights under his belt.
And we also saw his ability with that strength, Andy, to land that one punch that staggered Morales in the first round. Let's see if he can continue it. Good left by Morales.
Morales switching to a southpaw stance. Let's see if it's effective.
Also, Harris keeping his hands up, at least until that point. You know, when these boxers get tired, the hands drop, and you're more susceptible to the overhand rights and lefts and the combinations that the other fighters unleash. And now Morales landing 3 consecutive blows to the head of Harris. Good right by Harris, and now Harris doing a bull rush. And now Harris stumbles, taking some shots to the back of the head, and now Harris trying to protect himself. He looks like he's smiling half the time, Anthony, even though he's taking a lot of punches.
That's the big mouthpiece, gives you the smile factor, and it kind of intimidates your opponent. If he's smiling, then maybe I'm not doing the damage I think I'm doing.
Good left by Morales, another good left. And now Harris kind of stumbles, and he's in some trouble up against the ropes, but fights his way out of it. And we're talking about his smiling could also be like a taunt. Obviously, he's not doing that, but the smile could be after Morales unleashes a bunch of punches, as if to say, well, maybe that didn't hurt that much. I'm still grinning. Middle round of 3. Round number 2. Ooh, good right hand by Harris. Robert Harris in the green and white. And Robert Morales in the all blue. Morales out of the LAPD, who's got a good contingent of fans here tonight at the Olympic Auditorium. And Morales now landing a couple punches as the bell sounds. So 2 rounds in the books.
Another tough round to judge. I mean, that time we saw some good shots from Harris, but Morales had that flurry. A couple of those punches were rabbit punches, which probably won't score well, but they were punches nonetheless that may cause the judges to sway their decision for Morales. So there might be 2 in the bank for Morales, but there's still that ounce of uncertainty right now. So right now this fight is still Bobby Harris's to win.
There's some of that action in round number 2. And this was a sequence where Harris got in trouble and then worked his way out of it. And again, for an amateur, that's pretty good tactic.
I mean, it's very tough fighting a southpaw by any measure. If you're a professional, those guys have trouble with southpaws because the footwork gets tangled up, and it's hard to get inside without tangling feet and hitting knees. But give Harris credit. He's getting inside and getting punches in there.
That was a great close-up of Morales. Again, it's all in the eyes. You can tell the fighter is got it by the look in his eyes. And Morales, who stumbles on that exchange. This is going to be a difficult fight to score. That's why this 3rd round is so crucial to both boxers. And a lot of clutching and grabbing. Maybe Morales is starting to fatigue. But as soon as I say that, he lands about 4 or 5 straight punches, but now he's in trouble. He's in the corner. Harris got him up against the ropes.
Nice body shot that time by Harris.
Marty Mullen stepping in. Want to keep this one under control. Now Harris stumbling. We're seeing quite a bit of that. Again, that's the balance or lack of balance, and also the lack of experience.
Well, you notice Harris has been flat-footed the whole fight, whereas Morales has been bouncing on his toes, keeping his balance on the balls of his feet, whereas Harris, he gets his weight over the balls of his feet, but he's not moving around. So if he loses his balance, he's going to look like he's hurt, and he's not really hurt. He's just out of balance.
And the rights by Harris, he seems to be kind of stumbling as he delivers them. And all it takes for Harris is to land one good one. We saw that in a previous round where he staggered Morales, but Morales didn't go down.
Well, he has to commit to a punch. Right now you see Harris keeping his arms close to his body and throwing from there. He has to unload.
And Harris, a lot of times, will spend all of his energy just throwing one punch. Then Morales will do what he's done here, coming back and giving everything in the final 10 seconds of the 3rd round, and that's going to do it. So a good fight on both sides. You see the 2 fighters embrace, and Harris still smiling even though he's got that mouthpiece inside. So how do you score this one, Anthony?
This one might be a decision for Morales. He had a good 3-round showing. I mean, both fighters had great endurance, but fatigue really wasn't a factor. Both boxers into the 3rd round were still throwing nice punches and had good legs underneath them, but Morales landed the most punches. I mean, if they were jabs or straight left hands, because he kept the southpaw stance, we weren't sure if he was left-handed puncher or not, but it was effective, and he scored points, and most likely he has the victory on points.
Well, there's a look at Morales as we wait the official's decision. Then Jack Reese, Marty Mullen was our referee, Pat Connolly and Gwen Adair are the 3 judges and referee. And let's go down to Gil Garcia, who's got the decision.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a winner. And then to make the presentation, the winner from Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Commander Tom Lang. And he'll be presented to the winner, representing Northeast Division, Robert Morales.
Well, no surprise there. Robert Morales getting the victory. And as you said, Anthony, he pretty much controlled the fight, even though Harris landed a couple of good punches.